Baghdad, in the mid-20th century, was a city caught between its ancient past and the tremors of modern politics. Iraq had been a monarchy under King Faisal II, a young ruler educated in Europe and groomed to bring the country into a new age. But beneath the royal palaces and government halls, the streets of Baghdad simmered with discontent. Poverty, corruption, and the perception of British influence over the monarchy created a sense of betrayal among ordinary Iraqis. By 1958, resentment had reached its boiling point. The monarchy appeared out of touch, disconnected from the nationalist and socialist movements sweeping through the Arab world. The army, filled with young officers inspired by Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser and his vision of Arab unity, plotted in secret. Among them was a group calling itself the Free Officers, led by General Abdul Karim Qasim. On July 14, 1958, tanks and troops loyal to Qasim entered Baghdad. What began as a military maneuver quickly escalated into a full-blown revolution. The royal palace was surrounded, and the fate of King Faisal II, just 23 years old, was sealed. The young king, along with members of the royal family, was ordered into the courtyard. In a brutal and chaotic moment, soldiers opened fire. Faisal II, who had once hoped to modernize Iraq, fell dead beside his relatives. The monarchy was overthrown in a bloodbath that shocked the world. For many Iraqis, it was both a moment of liberation and the beginning of decades of turmoil. Qasim proclaimed Iraq a republic, promising reform, land redistribution, and freedom from foreign interference. For a while, Baghdad pulsed with revolutionary optimism. But the honeymoon did not last. Factions within the military and political movements, nationalists, communists, and Arab unity advocates quickly turned against each other. Amid this chaos, a young man from Tikrit was quietly shaping his path: Saddam Hussein. Born in 1937 to a poor family, Saddam grew up in hardship, raised largely by relatives in a clan-based society where loyalty and vengeance were deeply ingrained. From a young age, he was drawn to politics, particularly the Ba'ath Party, a movement calling for Arab nationalism, socialism, and unity. In 1959, just a year after the fall of the monarchy, Saddam, barely in his early 20s, participated in a Ba'athist plot to assassinate Abdul Karim Qasim. The ambush failed. Saddam was wounded, but he managed to escape, smuggled first to Syria and then to Egypt, where he studied law and deepened his connections within the Ba'ath Party. Qasim, meanwhile, clung to power, but found himself increasingly isolated. By 1963, another coup erupted. This time, Qasim was captured and executed on live radio, a gruesome warning to anyone who thought power in Iraq was secure. For Saddam, it was proof that the violent world of Baghdad politics demanded ruthlessness. The Ba'ath Party briefly took power in 1963 but quickly fell to infighting. Saddam bided his time, watching from exile and strengthening his alliances within the party. His patience paid off in 1968 when the Ba'athists staged another coup, this time securing lasting control of Iraq. At first, Saddam did not take the presidency. That position went to his relative Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr. Saddam, however, became the strongman behind the throne, overseeing the intelligence services and eliminating rivals with calculated precision. Torture chambers, secret police, and political assassinations became tools of governance. By the 1970s, Saddam Hussein had transformed Baghdad into both a stage for modernization and a theater of fear. Oil revenues funded grand projects, schools, and hospitals, but also an expanding military and a ruthless security state. Saddam cultivated an image of himself as the protector of Iraq, while simultaneously silencing dissent with brutal efficiency. In 1979, Saddam made his final move. He forced al-Bakr into retirement and declared himself president of Iraq. Within days, he summoned top Ba'ath Party officials to a dramatic meeting. One by one, he accused longtime allies of treason. As names were read aloud, guards dragged men out of the room. Many were executed. It was a chilling display of power, and it left no doubt. Saddam Hussein now ruled Baghdad with an iron fist. The murder of King Faisal X in 1958 marked the end of Iraq's monarchy, but it also unleashed a cycle of coups, assassinations, and betrayals that would shape the nation for decades. What began as a revolution against corruption and foreign influence ended with one man tightening his grip over an entire country. For Saddam Hussein, the blood spilled in Baghdad that summer morning was not just the death of a king, it was the birth of the ruthless path that would make him one of the most feared leaders in modern history.